Following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys? Yeah! Go Cowboys!
This is the Players Lounge, broadcasting live from Dallas Cowboys World Headquarters at the Star. Now, your hosts, Barry Church, Hek'ma Harrison, and Newy Scruggs.
It is that time to talk football with you. Players Lounge brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. You know the crew. Hek'ma Harrison is in the house. All right, we got Trey Moore, former Texas A&M Aggie and New York Giant and Dallas Cowboy in the house. I am merely Newy Scruggs, getting us through this thing today as we are getting closer to the Super Bowl. And I personally don't feel like it's Super Bowl week. First, I'm not there. When you've gone
That's
to those
what it
things,
is.
And then with everything that's happened from last Monday when Brian Schottenheimer was hired to then Saturday night, my whole world exploded because of Luka Doncic. So I've been on basketball watch. It's like, oh, by the way, there's Super Bowl stuff. But looking at Kansas City and Philadelphia, going back and doing this thing one more time, heck, has it felt like Super Bowl week to you?
It has, and it felt weird to me to hear y'all have the conversation about it not feeling like Super Bowl week. I think the lead up and tonight, obviously, you get announcements of big announcements, and man, I just feel like as it grows, as it gets closer, man, it's just the anticipation for this big game. I think Kansas City is on the cusp of greatest of all time. And it's just crazy. Like, you think about all the Super Bowl teams getting an opportunity to see all those old Super Bowl games leading up to Sunday. It just, man, it really is something to recognize what Andy Reid has been able to accomplish as a head coach. And, man, it's going to be a lot of parties going on. So, I mean, I'm anticipating my party is going to be off the chain on Sunday. You know what I mean? So, I'm getting –
Your party, you didn't even invite us?
But see,
an invitation? Man,
I got to work.
So there it is.
We all got work, but I mean, we could have been working together.
But it's party, man. It's Super Bowl party weekend. Man. But I'd rather be in New Orleans, though.
I forgive you said party. I ain't even thought about a party. I got to work. So I'm not even thinking about a party.
Man, where you been? Where you been? You out of it or something? Are you okay?
When I tell you I have been buried in Luka land, we have been buried in Luka land.
So you've been like everybody else in Dallas and on watch where we got to, there's a helpline that you can call on the back of your ID license that say therapist. I believe there's certain benefits and packages here that you can do that. But I mean, hey, just cry you a river, go about your business because you get AD. Like, as much as we sitting here talking about Luka leaving and stuff like that, like, yes, Luka is iconic, but you get key players. You got something back. And then let's not forget, it's the final time. This is the big dance. I'm like, heck, over here. Like, this is Super Bowl week. You see, I got my Mardi Gras beads on. Like, I feel this. Like, we are watching football greatness at its peak right now. Patrick Mahomes, to do what he's doing right now at a young age and potentially do something that even Brady hasn't done. And then he still has a lot of football going, being in his prime. Andy Reid doing what he does. Not even that. And I'm a defensive guy. Shout out to my dog, Steve Spagnuolo, and what he was able to do with that defense and building there. And surprisingly, he's not a head coach right now. We are watching some great football. Jalen Carter's he's emerging as the guy for the league. Ever since Aaron Donald came out and gave that quote, that man has been punishing people. So this week, and then on top of that, you're down in New Orleans.
Yeah.
I know the food is there. Bro, last night I had a turducken for the first time.
Turducken?
Yes, Golden Belly sent me a turducken and I made it. It is chicken, turkey, and duck. And when I tell you, I said, let me be in New Orleans. This is a small replication of what's going down there.
Yeah.
Food and football.
Yeah. Take the duck, put it in the turkey, cook it.
And stuff it.
Yeah.
You got stuffing in it too.
It's good. I mean, it is good. Now, I'll give you that. I told my friends who've been in New Orleans this week, I say, go to Cochon. Get the fried oyster BLT sandwich. And make sure you put the sweet potato habanero.
God, that sounds so
sauce.
good.
Oh, my jeez.
I don't like oysters, but this sandwich.
Fried oysters?
I love oysters.
I don't, but it's that good that I go get it every single time because it's like the flavors of that between the oyster and then the hot sauce.
I was about to say, you said the habanero hot sauce.
Yeah,
Get back
sweet potato habanero hot sauce.
As a vegetarian, I'm just pretending to enjoy what you guys are talking
But you
about.
can't.
I'm sorry.
You don't know.
How long have you been a vegetarian?
4 years.
Oh,
No,
okay.
no
Okay,
oysters?
Salute.
I love. I mean, when
You gave them up?
I love like Dragos in New Orleans.
Man.
Oysters crazy.
Okay, well take the bacon out, but you can do the oysters.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can't
Okay,
do pork.
well, so yeah.
No, I don't.
do
No.
pork.
Oh, you don't even do that?
I don't even do.
Really? Okay.
You don't do fish at all?
No.
Oh, okay. So are you vegan or vegetarian?
My wife will tell you. I don't.
Okay, yeah, mine was too. What he said, I was vegetarian for like
I don't know.
24 hours.
If it's got a mama, dad, I'll eat it.
Do you eat dairy? That's all you gotta ask. Do you eat dairy?
They
Eggs?
had eggs today.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
eggs
then
today.
okay.
They had eggs today, so it's that.
That's dope.
Turducken. That's I like that, man. I had last
First time.
Thanksgiving. I had tofurkey. I thought tofu turkey.
Oh.
Tofu turkey. It was
look
horrible.
Did it look? Oh, I was about to say.
It was horrible. I'm not even gonna lie to you. But as we talk about good food,
Like, hey, as grandma say, put some hot sauce on that thing, baby. It's gonna be good.
ketchup.
Put some ketchup on
I
it.
was eating the Jerry World. So he had the ham, he had the turkey.
I was
he
about to
had
say,
the
you gonna have it.
mashed
It's gonna be
potatoes. I mean,
good.
Jerry take care of us.
We're all over the place right now, but I got to ask you. And I meant to say something to you in the chat about the Luka trade. Is it one of those things? Are you one of those people that's on this Nico Harrison train where you think he's a madman for going the direction that he did with Luka, and also the contract implications for him?
First off, the contract implications, I just don't buy. I don't buy. I mean,
You don't think that was the reason?
good players cost money.
Yeah.
No, I'm talking about just he kind of shaded the guy out.
That's why I said you shaded him like, hey, we ain't gonna pay you this, and on top of that, you know what? Let's get you up out of here. So you're gonna delay your contract because he's gonna get a max contract by somebody.
Sure, yes.
But we delay it for at least another year.
I mean, look, Nico needs to make a long run to the finals, or I think he's going to get fired. And the
Definitely.
problem of owners who don't live in town is they don't understand the mentality of how people feel.
Yeah.
And you go back to 1998, this town has had a European superstar that they have loved. Dirk Nowitzki passed the torch to Luka Doncic.
Hell, go back to Dudley Shrimp.
When they draft, hey, we're going to draft that less shrimp over Karl Malone.
That's what I'm saying. Come on, it goes back further than that.
The owners, when the
Over
Mavericks,
Karl? That's before my time period. But
yes, when the Mavericks were established in 1980, the owners wanted to make them the Boston Celtics of the South.
Yeah.
okay.
And Luka Doncic is a guy who, like Dirk Nowitzki, this was their own guy. This was their own guy. And I've covered two stories that have been on this level in my career as a television sportscaster. The first one, I was there at the press conference when Jimmy Johnson was let go by Jerry over at Valley Ranch. People were like, make it make sense. You just won 2 Super Bowls. What's happening here? So I was there for that. And then I went from Austin, Texas, up to work in Cleveland, and I was there that day on the newscast for Channel 5 announcing that the Browns were leaving to go to Baltimore just less than a month after the Indians lost the World Series to the Atlanta Braves. And that was wait a minute, what's happening here? This team is leaving. So I've seen two crazy, and this story and how people are reacting is the same way. So Nico Harrison has to win or he's going to get fired. I mean, Ed Werder, we did Media Mash yesterday. Ed Werder said Jerry has now moved up in the local GM ranking.
Hey, he got some love. He got some love.
That's hard.
That's hey, what they say?
But think about it. When Monday, it was about, okay, they hired Brian Schottenheimer.
Yeah.
Why are you going in-house again? You've gone in-house twice here, Jerry. You did it for Dave Campo and Jason Garrett. You didn't get the results. So here it is. You go Brian Schottenheimer again. So that week was about Cowboy fans who were frustrated. That's all gone. I'm not talking about Jerry. Barely talking about the moves of the staff.
Right.
Normally, the moves of a football team, like the Dallas Cowboys, it's a big deal to talk about, hey, offensive coordinator is going to be Clayton Adams, who's coming from Arizona. Let's dive into this. What Arizona? It was a mention.
Yes.
It was a mention.
Did we hire a running back too?
Yes, running back coach. Okay?
We did hire him.
The running back coach, Derek Foster, who was down in New Orleans and also had worked with, who'd worked with Austin Eckler with the Chargers. So normally
That's crazy. They got swept under the rug. That's how big.
Right, you're going into that, but this trade has been that big, and that many people who aren't normally your sports fans, but they knew who Luka was.
Yeah.
And you're like, huh? Really? I mean, Luka sold shoes, man. And that's a hard thing to do these days, to be a guy who sells shoes.
It's true.
I remember many times watching the Jones family, seeing them sit courtside to watch Luka Doncic play. There's just not many people in all of sports where you say, I want to go watch him play. That night, I see Patrick Mahomes, who's been at many a Maverick game. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes is like, what?
Yeah.
Luka fan.
Yeah.
And you got rid of that. I mean, you can talk about AD all day you want to, but
I was clearly joking. I know that was a shot at me.
I feel sorry for him.
I do feel sorry for him because he is an all-star. And you bring into role players right now. You got Kyrie that's doing his thing, and obviously you have to win now. But with this being such a detrimental situation, and like as a fan, I'm hurt that Luka is gone. I truly am. But I can't think about the time when we sat there as fans. We said, why would you, as a Mavericks fan, trade Steve Nash away? Why would you sit here and get rid of all your key components when you just went to a finals and give everything up for an old Jason Kidd? And everybody was like, hey, you're fired after this year. Like, get rid of him if this worked. But we won a championship right after that, and it was like, oh, snap, getting the old Jason Kidd and getting rid of a young Devin Harris who was going out there dropping 40 with the Nets. It was like, okay, it makes it worse. So I'm with you when you say those same sentiments of Nico. This is like a do or die. This is that last bullet in the chamber right now, that if you don't hit on this, your job is done. You just traded Michael Irvin. You just traded Emmitt Smith. Like
it's
somebody
seismic things.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're Aggie guy. Going to the SEC, leaving the Big 12 to go, that was a seismic type of thing where, wait a minute.
It better be worth it.
Okay, well, that, and then everyone in college football was like, what? Texas A&M leaving, going to the SEC, huge.
Yeah.
You know, it's that kind of thing where the landscape didn't change in a sport where then you just look at Twitter and you see how many football players were diving into this thing, and everyone's like, huh? What's going on here? And so it's big.
I think we're in the season of disruption.
It is.
Look, it's a season of disruption. And the thing for me, because I'm closer to the situation because of calling the Legends basketball, the G League, you know, I get an opportunity to see a lot of the Mavericks brass, Dale Harris and guys like that every time I'm calling a game. And I think when you look at the way that they are, you know, especially farming these guys from G League up to the Mavericks, you see the need for those threes and fours and guys that can come in and play immediately. I started to see last season, especially in the finals game versus Boston exposing the matchup with Luka. And you see other teams come into American Airlines Center and expose the matchup with Luka. And he's never gotten the criticism that some of the other big name superstars get because of the way that he plays offense. I think he has a brand that caters to the NBA, the way that they play now, just shoot, run back down to three-point line. But when it comes down to the finals, you're never going to be able to win a championship versus a team that has a 1-5 or at least 1-4 because he's going to be exposed. And so even when I look at guys like James Harden, whose their reputation has been around the league as a scorer and a guy that doesn't play defense, there are not a lot of teams out there that's breaking their back to go after James Harden. But Luka, on the other end, because he's young, because you potentially look at him, oh, man, his ceiling is so much higher. How much higher is that ceiling defensively when I can take Jason Tatum and just expose that nerve?
Two things on that. Two things.
Mm-hmm.
2 out of the last 3 years, the Mavericks were in the conference final, and they went to the NBA final round last year, and that's only the third time in franchise history. Franchise been around, established since 1980. Mm-hmm. You beat the number 1 seed in the West in Oklahoma City. Then you go on the road and beat Minnesota to get yourself there to the final. The team they played was the best team in basketball all year long.
Yeah.
I mean, from the time it started, how great they were, 60-plus wins.
Yeah.
I think they lost maybe 3 playoff games.
Yes.
Boston was just better. And then when you talk about their ability to play defense, they went next level. Luka defense was bad. Kyrie Irving could not score.
Yeah.
It was in his head going back to Boston. And the karma of all of this was Kristaps Porzingis. Let me tell you something, guys. Okay? You watch WWE Raw. Okay. So
Yes.
all of a sudden, somebody's talking to them, boom, you hear the music, and just, and then if people look around. It's before game 1.
Okay.
Okay? Porzingis had been hurt.
Painted.
Okay, he's been hurt, and now he's gonna play.
Paint
You got Tatum on the court,
Yeah.
and you got Jaylen Brown. They're all warming up, so the team is all warming up. Tatum and Brown, and then Jason Kidd said, "Hey, Brown's their best player."
Okay.
Porzingis comes out late.
Yeah.
They show him in leaving the locker room.
He said Royal Rumble. He's
And
coming
he-
down running.
Running. Right. So you see him coming down, and
Yeah.
these fans in the Boston Garden, they're wild, like, it's your smell. And here comes Porzingis. He comes through the court, and they're all clapping. And I'm like, wait, this is Rocky?
Yeah, it is.
What
It
is-
is.
what is
It
this?
is. It is. It's the comeback.
No, and
Creed.
I'm telling you, I'm like, they weren't going crazy for Tatum, the All-Star. It was Porzingis. Then the game started.
Yeah.
He comes off the bench. Boy put up a shot.
Yeah.
Went swish.
Yeah. Bottom. And
He's
kept
back.
going.
He's back.
You couldn't hear.
He's back.
You couldn't hear.
He's
Fans
back.
was jumping up, and then I was over by the concession. You saw these two. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. You cheering like this guy Bird.
Yeah.
Hey.
He they bird.
That-
For the
that's
night.
Havlicek. Then he shook somebody, hit Kyrie down. I mean, the dude went all hit like 10, and he got a smile on his face. And I'm like, oh, it's different.
It's different, and it
It's
shows you what he
different.
meant to the community.
This place is different. And, Jaylen Brown MVP, but I'm telling you, man, that Porzingis boy for 2 nights, and it's like, wow, this is different up here.
Former
So,
Dallas Maverick.
I was about to say,
So
everybody
going-
gets the toys from Dallas, and then all of a sudden make them.
And then Kyrie wilting under the pressure every time he touched the ball. So when we talk about Luke and what happened in the finals, hey, man, he got him there.
Yeah.
And if this guy is out of shape or not where he needs to be and you're in the final, I'll take it.
Yeah.
If the Cowboys had some, hey, you went to the Super Bowl, would we be moaning and
Heck
groaning?
no.
No.
Heck no.
Man, you need to get in shape. Would we be talking about, hey, man, Michael's doing his podcast on Tuesday if you're in the Super Bowl? No.
Great.
That is a good point. But
You're
I'm gonna
going
tell you,
towards something.
but I'm gonna tell you like they always say in the business. What have you done for me lately? It is not a problem until it becomes a problem. If you are out of shape and doing all this and you step on somebody's toes, you better not mess up the wrong way. He might mean a lot to us, but since when? And Dallas, if Mavericks fan should learn from the Cowboys, the owners do not care what our fans think.
So
if you are not giving me this right here, I'm going to take you out right here, and I'm going to paint the narrative to tarnish everything.
And it's ironic when you think about.
Because you disrespected Kyrie when you tried to say he wilted. Don't sit there and say that.
He wilted.
Kyrie. He wilted in that moment, but overall what he did for the season and that team.
No, we're talking about the finals.
The final.
I know we're talking about the finals, but he also helped get there.
Not the whole year. The
I
finals.
know, but
Going back to Boston.
Yes.
Wilted.
I felt some type of way. I'm sorry, I was triggered. I was
okay.
triggered, so I had to.
It was. Look.
It wasn't a wilt. It was more like his.
When you got there,
He rewarmed the lettuce up at Whataburger. That morning after. It's still a good burger. It's still a good burger.
When you got there, it was because Kyrie and Luka were playing next level. Boston shut it down.
Oh yeah, true.
And then everything that he had to go through. Hey, I'm over this. No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
It was a problem. As Jerry's getting criticized for making sure he signs his stars, the Mavericks gave away the only star they had. It'd be like, hey man, bye Micah.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks.
Stranger things have happened.
Thanks,
Stranger
young
things.
talent that we can't just go get in the draft. We're going to give that away and go bring in an older dude who's a nice player. Yeah, he's won a championship, got a Hall of Fame resume, but it's Micah Parsons. Just don't go give away Micah Parsons.
Yeah, you don't give away your franchise.
Right. You don't give away these kinds of players. And so those of us who hear people like, they should trade it. They should. For what? Oh, maybe you don't need to sign CD Lamb. What do you mean? I mean, that's so we criticize Jerry for holding on.
Oh no,
Man, take him.
no, they said take him, but it's
You out of shape. So you took us to the finals and made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Here's the only thing as we go to break. The only thing Nico did for his team was make sure they ain't got to play on Christmas Day next year because the NBA ain't gonna put these dudes on TV.
Man.
When we come back, let's dive into this offensive coordinator for the Cowboys and the staff that have gone down here. He is.
Newy.
He is. Hek'ma Harrison. Trey.
I'm just sitting back here trying to get shot.
I'm Newy Scruggs. Media Mash, brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming on Dallas.
Get 'em.
The Players Lounge.
Yeah.
Know that too.
Hey there, Cowboys Nation. Kyle Yeomans here, sharing that same team that brought you Buffalo, bringing NFL casino games that show America's team on and off the reels. Aristocrat is changing the game with a new experience. Football fans, this means you can pick your team and play your team. Check out the Cowboys-themed casino games developed by Aristocrat, a proud sponsor of the Dallas Cowboys. Gambling problem? Please contact the U.S. National Problem Gambling Helpline at 1-800-GAMBLER. That's 1-800-GAMBLER for 21 and over.
Dallas Cowboys Game Day is brought to you by Captain Morgan, the official spiced rum of the NFL. The NFL season is full of legendary tales on and off the field. And when you follow the captain within you, stories become stuff of legends. So gather your crew and visit followthecaptain.com to begin your adventure. Please drink responsibly. Captain Morgan Original Spiced Rum, 35% alcohol by volume. Captain Morgan Rum Company, New York, New York.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Raising Cane's presents the other rules of football. Rule 1. Any broadcast without the express addition of cooked-to-order Cane's chicken fingers is prohibited. Rule 12. No crinkle-cut fries, Texas toast, or craveable Cane's sauce constitutes an illegal formation. And Rule 31. Anybody who loves to feed their game face is an eligible receiver of Cane's. When it comes to winning game day, Cane's rules. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love. Go Cowboys.
Back to the Players Lounge.
The biggest names in tennis head to the Ford Center at the Star in Frisco this February. Witness top-ranked Casper Ruud and former Dallas Open champion American Tommy Paul dazzle the court as the Dallas Open moves to a new home. Catch all the hard-hitting action and watch the top players on tour compete live. Tickets are available now at SeatGeek.com.
Going on right now. And
Get 'em.
I don't know if you guys play any tennis at all, but
I play pickleball.
I
I played tennis when I was younger. Hey, 5th grade, I promise you, I'll bring my tennis trophy up here. It's nice. Hey, what do you mean? Pickleball is just a more controlled version of tennis. What you laughing at?
First
Now
of
they
all,
got professional pickleball players out here
DeMontre,
now.
first of all, you're a large human being.
I am.
And
I cover the whole card.
when you just say I play pickleball, you know what I'm saying? It's like wait a minute. First of all, I'm imagining you out on a pickleball court with a 67-year-old, my 67-year-old aunt on the other side of
And
that,
I'm a
who loves pickleball. By the way, my aunt Stevie, who's probably playing pickleball right now. So
No disrespect. If Aunt Stevie comes over, you remember that one movie? What was it? Meet the Flockers. Or
Yeah,
whatever?
yeah.
And he spikes the ball over the net.
Dog.
I promise you, that would have been me.
Look.
Meet the Parents. Yeah, whatever.
yeah, it's
his name
Meet the
was.
Parents and then
But yes,
Fox was the next.
on pickleball, I promise you, I am that guy.
You just kind of took it that level low.
Man, anyways, but
You know, I'm just
pickleball
saying,
and
hey man, we
tennis.
talk about golf. Yeah, I go putt-putt.
I got you.
Wow.
Different sport.
How about NASCAR?
But we got
that's not a different sport. No, putt. At least say Top Golf. Don't do that. See, this is why I need Barry here. See, the age is starting to get me. Y'all trying to double up on me.
No, you're in the OG session right now. Go ahead, man. You good.
Hey, man.
Players Lounge by Aristocrat Gaming. My whole premise was to simply piggyback on what you were saying. The tennis here, this is good level tennis, and to watch it in person and to see how fast the serves come and how good these players are. If you are here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, it is worth you going to watch.
The Star doesn't even
Really.
look the same, right? The way that they transform the Star. If you've gone over there and looked at the court,
I'm gonna go check
the
that out
setup,
after this.
It is amazing.
I need to go check it out. But no, I say that
Unbelievable.
to say, like, not to drag away from the tennis, but I'm saying what they say, certain people can't be rappers, but you can go record a demo on your computer. Well, I can't be a tennis player. Like, I was good when I was little if I'd have stayed with it. So now what I do is I live that out through pickleball. Like, I'm on my Venus and Serena stuff.
All
So
right, Demontre.
yeah, let me live it.
Sweet.
But anyways, let's get back to some football, man. we gonna do this. I'm gonna Debo this
Okay,
thing one time.
there's the picture right there, right behind
there
you,
it is.
of how
Yes.
Ford Center looks
That's
there
crazy.
for the Dallas
wow.
Open, which is one of the marquee events that the city needed. The city basically has everything except when you talk about a major tennis tournament. We've got the golf, we've got basketball, we've got so many things here, conference championship basketball, so many different things that come to this area. So adding this is just one more thing, and that is one of the beauties of having the Ford Center here and things that are around. So,
Are there gonna be any big players in this tournament?
Yeah.
yes. Basically, your top Americans are all here,
Oh, really?
and yes. So
Tommy Paul. I just told you about him. Is he in the building?
Can I use your press badge? One of y'all guys?
just talk to Chris Beam.
Chris Beam, guys.
Yeah, somebody take care of you, man. Not a problem. Clayton Adams
Saquon out there.
is your Dallas Cowboys offensive coordinator. He was the offensive line coach at Arizona, and they were top 10 in rushing. It's good, but then you got to add in the fact that Kyler Murray had almost 700 yards rushing. So how are we feeling about him to go along with your running back coach, Derek Foster? Brian Schottenheimer is going to call the plays. They are talking about making the run game a major part of what they do, going back to when Ezekiel Elliott was drafted here under the Jason Garrett era, and he was leading the league in rushing twice.
I'm on the fence. I was about to say I don't like it. I am 50-50 when it comes to this because you're doing everything that you're telling the people that you're going to do, and you're building up all this anticipation about this immaculate run offense, heavy offense that we're going to do. Shoddy being the head coach. Then you get an O-line offensive coordinator that is run dominant. Then you go down there to go get a running back coach that you're talking about that was with and the
Saints and also Coach,
the Saints and
Coach
Eckler.
Chargers and Coach Eckler out there.
So with that being said, you're doing all this with what personnel? I hope that you draft somebody to make all this effective, because if you don't draft nobody and then you leave our run game like how it was last year, we're going to be banking off Michael Parsons channeling that inner running back that he was talking about. Because who do we have that is a caliber of running back to run this style of offense that we're doing? Because this right now, that it just, like I said, I get it. You're putting all the pieces in play and you're playing chess, not checkers right now. I just hope at the end of the day you bring in the personnel to match this, because right now the coaching staff does not match with the personnel that we have, in my opinion, with running and all that.
So, great point. And we're talking about this on February 6th.
Yes.
To me, this is the process you have to lay down.
You do.
This right here, hey, let's start to hire people who understand the run game, want to run the football, and then the next step, because right here, so then it's going to the combine to start to look at these guys. Yeah. Then March hits, there's free agency, and then
that's why I said I'm 50. That's why I said I'm 50-50 on it. Like
you've
if
got
you
the
get the tour.
So to me, I'm just looking at, all right, they're starting to get themselves walking down the road of what they need to do. Friday, I went to the Doak Walker Award, and Ashton Genty was there speaking and said, yeah, I'll go to the Cowboys. And the Cowboys have the 12th overall pick, so I guess he's okay if he ends up staying on the board that long. But
I mean, he's okay, but I mean, he ain't got a choice.
well, I mean, look, somebody wants to pick him at 7, and
Somebody might.
Based on what we're seeing with the Saquon Barkley, and then you saw what Josh Jacobs did this year. You saw the run game come back. Who knows who decides to say, hey, man, we want to go get this.
Let me get a piece of this because I feel like, the name that I heard immediately when Schottenheimer was hired was Clayton Adams. They knew they had him identified right away. And my vision of Clayton Adams isn't short-sighted. I think you have to have an offensive line guy come in here that understands that this team is lacking a power run game, period. And the pieces that you're talking about, I'm looking at pieces more or less from schematically from an offensive line standpoint. I think you had so many breakdowns in your offensive line that rendered your whole running game pretty much useless. Going back and looking at the season, Rico Dowdle, they were up and down on who he was as a running back, and then finally over the last part of the season started to allow him to get into some type of rhythm. But 1,700 yards rushing for the Dallas Cowboys last season, how that ranks amongst the NFL is not very high.
Not good.
Not good. Yeah, but then you think of the list of guys that it took to get to just 1,700 yards. I mean, and then we look at Saquon Barkley. And then we look at some of these other teams that have specialized now in allowing for the balance of their offense to take place. And I think that's where you get the best part of Dak, where you spent so much of your money. It's where you get the best part of CD, because when you became one-dimensional, we talked about it last Thursday when I said, look, Montre, you wouldn't be fooled by play action if you knew that it wasn't a viable threat. And that's why going into this draft, why everybody's talking about the Ashton Genty, and I love Ashton Genty. I called his games when he was at Frisco Lone Star. Look, what good is Ashton Genty going to do you when you don't have an offensive line that can open up those gaping holes for a guy his size? You need a power running game, but you need an offensive line even more. And this is one of those seasons where you can't pump fake on being all in. You either are or you aren't.
So this is good. We talked about this on Media Mash yesterday. Terrence Steele, the thought process is he's a better run blocker than pass blocker. Also, what do you do in terms of, is Austin Richards taking over left tackle? Where do you go with Guyton? Still need to see what happens with Zach Martin. So this, once again, is a part of the process. How do you go about rebuilding the line? But you do need to upgrade at the running back position. So Genty could be the guy or someone else. And if we're also talking about your defense last year, and how many times did we do the Players Lounge early on in the year, Hek'ma, look at the time of possession totals and how long this Cowboy defense was there on the football field. If you can get a better run game, improve your offensive line play, you can help your defense.
Oh, absolutely. Man, amen to that.
You help them out a lot, especially when they start getting fresh. So that's why, like I said, it goes back to being 50-50. Half of me likes it because, like I said, you're laying the foundation. You're getting back to everything that you're saying, and you're proving. And typically, historically, when the Cowboys have been at their best, it's been off of the play-action run. And so it's like, yes, you're setting the foundation and getting the fans excited to saying that we're going to get back there. But the reason that I'm still not as optimistic is because for years, people have always said that it's been one tool away, or not getting people the right tools, or having that, being on the cusp of that. And so it's like, are you going to do that? Not only are you going to go get the running back, but like you said, the offensive line is the biggest spot. Because Zach Martin, if he comes back, and even if he does come back, he's going to be a temporary Band-Aid for, a year? Sure. Maybe 2 if he feels good and like goes through rehab the right way. But realistically, you have a year left in him.
And that's an uncomfortable conversation for me with Zach Martin. It is. And what's uncomfortable about it is that we didn't get the best version of him because of those injuries. And if he says he's going to get healthy and come back, who's going to stop him?
Nobody.
Even also said, I'm a free agent. He put it out there like, oh, by the way, free agent means I could go someplace else. At this point in time, I would. You
can't let him walk, though.
I would view it as him not being here.
Yeah.
If you're a Cowboy fan, I would tell you today, do not look for Zach Martin or Tank Lawrence to be on your football team next year.
Oh, no, of course, for sure.
And operate accordingly. And
what they say, you'll be playing with house money if they do actually come back. So.
Between both players, you're talking about 2 guys that played in the trenches, and Trey, you played in the trenches for over 10 years. Yeah. The best versions of who they are is gone.
Oh, it is.
It's gone, and they got hurt. And now what we're seeing over time with older players, especially those guys in the trenches, hurt players stay hurt.
And the thing about Zach Martin in his career, he never postured in that way his entire career about going to another team. And that's what keeps the loyalty there for him, because he could have been that guy. He could have been the guy that gone for another contract to go somewhere else to play for a Super Bowl when he was in his prime. And it would have been prime picking for him during those times. And so to hear him say that now, to hear him say, look, I still may have some football in me and I want to get ready to go, but by the way, I am a free agent. It's just, like I said, it's one of those conversations for me. It goes back to the Tyron Smith from last season when we were talking about him going to the Jets. It's end of an era, basically.
It's the end of an era, but with that end of an era, you have to have somebody that's going to be that transitional piece. And right now, you only have one solid foundation piece on that offensive line. So that's what I'm saying. Like, we're positioning ourselves, but it's like having going into a relationship. You have expectations, you get let down. But if you go in there with no expectations, then it's gonna happen. So like right now, the expectations are getting built sky high. You're going back to the offense that got you to the Super Bowl. You're building all this offensive run power. You have the O-line coach that's coming here. You're building this up to where you got Ashton Genty talking about he wants to come here, and you're gonna try to spend the money, and you're saying you're invested. Now that you have the coaches, you didn't spend the money last year. You got to make up for this year. Everybody's expecting you to make that splash, and if you don't make that splash, it's kind of like the Nico Harris or the Nico thing.
So
it's a bad word.
So when we come back, let's take our when we come back,
I'm messing with you.
Where should the splash be when we come back? Because free agency hits before the draft. Where should the splash be? We got Hek'ma Harrison. Got Demontre Moore.
What show you on?
I'm Newy Scruggs. This is the Players Lounge, brought to you by
the old school show.
Hey.
How do you tell the world about all the great gifts in the Yeti store? Let her rip, Troy.
All right, folks, let's get started with the Yeti French Press. Enjoy coffee that stays hot for hours in a French press. 34 ounce for you, 6'4" for the cruise. The Yeti French Press. Hot mix waterproof bags. Bags waterproof. Submersible waterproof doubles. Waterproof bags. World's mostly water, so get a waterproof Yeti bag. Do I smell something cooking? Oh, new cast iron skillets made to be passed down like Mama's recipes. Take a steak, cornbread, cobbler's pot pie, and potatoes next level with 3 sizes of Yeti cast iron skillets.
Gear, gifts, and product experts. Visit the Yeti store on McKinney Street and at South Lake Town Square today.
Life is a workout, and Smoothie King is here to help you power through. Whether you're maxing out overhead presses, pushing through chest flies, or being the hero your golden retriever needs to carry them over that scary bridge, Smoothie King has the fuel to help you go all out. Build muscle and boost your recovery with 45 grams of protein, 0 grams of added sugar, and delicious customizable ingredients in the Gladiator Smoothie. Available in chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. Only at Smoothie King.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code CowboysVIP.
Hey Cowboy fans, I'm Dak Prescott, quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. But lately, I've been learning a new game, crypto. Sound confusing? Don't worry, even us pros were rookies in crypto once. That's why I trust blockchain.com. They make crypto easy. No confusing jargon, just the tools to help you win.
Prescott keeps it, slides with a first down.
Invest like your icons, where everyone is a rookie in crypto with blockchain.com.
Perfect throw, my goodness. Wow, did he ever thread the needle.
Visit blockchain.com/Cowboys to get started.
Back to the Players Lounge.
Come on out to AT&T Stadium on February 22nd for the Monster Energy AMA Supercross Championship Series. Watch the world's best two-wheel racers. Coverage for one night of non-stop action. Enjoy unprecedented access to the sport's biggest stars with an up-close view of their race bikes and team rigs at FanFest. Tickets are now on sale at SeatGeek.com, the official ticketing provider of AT&T Stadium.
Harrison, Demontre Moore, I'm Newy Scruggs. This is the Players Lounge brought to you by Aristocrat Gaming. Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. Yesterday, I made my pick. I went Kansas City 26-20.
What? You did what?
Yeah, man.
Wait a minute. Whoa. What?
Dang.
You know what, Newy?
Y'all switching
right now, what's today's date?
This is 6th.
February 6th.
Yeah.
You make no sense. at all.
Why?
I've been trying to figure you out for 4 years now, dog, and you don't make no sense at all.
What do you? How?
Because first of all,
I haven't been here that long.
Well, I'm just saying,
Easy to figure
like
out.
you're going against the frat right now, and that's something that I never would have expected from you, especially. Just saying, like this is one of those situations where you have been down with Philadelphia, especially Jalen Hurts, and.
Look, I root.
Speak on it.
I root for dog team. I root for dog team. But in asking who's going to win the Super Bowl, I will go with Kansas City. I do think Philadelphia's got a better defense, and that does concern me. And usually, defense wins these championships. But Patrick Mahomes is a next-level player. Chris Jones is a next-level Hall of Fame type player. And until they're beaten on this stage, I'm going to go with them. The one time they did get beat on the stage, Kansas City's offensive tackles were shambles, and Tampa Bay just took advantage of them all day long. The same way we saw D. Ware and Von Miller take apart a 15-1 Carolina Panther team that didn't have their starting tackles, compromise on the offensive line. So for me, until I see Kansas City go down and get beat, I'm going to go with them.
The fact that you said you did not think that would happen, I've been here in this short span of time, and I've seen this man wear multiple college shirts that he has never went to. Yeah. I've seen him bandwagon.
They free?
They're free, but I've
From
seen
my
him.
friends who are
Okay, now they're friends. I've seen him bandwagon with other people, so it's no wonder that he's going to sit here and say, cute dog this, cute dog that, and then when it comes time, he's like, hold on, I need to go with the
guys in red.
He need to go with the guys in red. Like, just,
unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Okay, so who you picking?
I'm going Philly.
I'm going Philly too.
Can you imagine? You know what type of nerve that took for me to come in here today and pick Philly and just looking at the matchup. Defensive line wise, Kansas City's not going to have an answer for what Jalen Carter and those guys can do interior wise. And I love Patrick Mahomes, and I'm with you. I mean, they have the killer. He has that championship mentality. He's been here. This would be 3 in a row, and that would catapult his career into a whole nother spectrum. But I just feel as though when I look at Saquon Barkley and Saquon's effect on the Eagles' offense, he is an immovable, unstoppable object. And it is going to extend Sirianni's career, surely my man BC Kellen Moore's career.
He just got a head coaching job.
It's just really, it's one of those things that when you see a guy just make a major impact, and it opens up so many other things. And so for me, I think you come into this game, if I'm Philadelphia, I'll give them a healthy dose of Saquon Barkley, and then I open up the run game and let the defense just handle business for you. It's going to come down to who makes more mistakes. And I know for sure that Patrick Mahomes is not going to be the guy that's going to try and go out here and make a ton of mistakes. But that defense, I believe, can force him into making mistakes.
What's your score?
Score on this one, it may get ugly. I'm going to go 35-24.
Score?
I'm going to go 30. I'm going to go 31-25.
31-25. Hey, look, man.
I can't believe it. That's ugly.
And you know what? And
whoever's run game gets started first.
We'll see if they can win a playoff game, and under Sirianni and Hurts, if they can win and company, if they can win a playoff game away from Philadelphia, which hasn't happened.
Right.
So let's see how it all goes down. But right now, until I see it, I'm going to keep going with.
Did we get
first
Barry?
Playoff away?
Did Barry tell us?
We already know where Barry's going.
Did Barry say?
Barry did not. He
did not.
I think we know.
Last thing before we roll out of here, what's the splash that needs to happen?
I think for me, the splash needs to happen at the defensive line.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
really
free agent splash.
Free agent splash needs to happen at the defensive line. You need a guy up front with Micah. If you just said Tank's going to be out of here, I think you're going to have some other guys, the young guys behind him. But you need a free agent, a bona fide free agent, to come in here and pick up a lot of the slack up front,
or maybe a trade, sir.
D-line was going to be my second choice, but I'm going to go with O-line. I'm going to keep it right here in the trenches because you need somebody to come in here like what when I look at free agency, you need like a Trent Williams type signing where you bring somebody in here that bolsters that offensive line, solidifies it. Because when the Cowboys have been at their peak, you've had a guy like Tyron Smith holding down the line. You had a guy like Travis Frederick that was able to transition. And now with Zach Martin going, I think you need to get that because you can go find a talented running back, be undrafted, and a guy ball out. Look at the guy down there in look at the guy down there in Tampa right now that's doing his thing. You can go find those skill position, but you need somebody to be the focal point of that offensive line and say, "Hey, I'm nasty. Bring back that that nasty Cowboys offensive
Eric
line."
Williams, Big E. No, I agree with you. I think wholeheartedly, offensive line-wise, when you were talking about Austin Richards, I think the whole tragedy of last season is the fact that we didn't get to see more of Austin Richards, and they had to tinker with and I understand, it's a first-round draft pick. You're going to play him. You're not going to sit him on the bench. But then you have a guy like Austin Richards who plays through all of camp that shows you what he has, and then you sit him on the bench for a guy that's not performing. So
this is going to be, another great thing about having Clayton Adams here and whoever else they bring in on the offensive line staff to see what you saw from Guyton last year, what his learning curve is, and how they get him straight. There's work to do. Yeah. And that's why, for me, when I talk about a splash here, I'm with you, Hek'ma, from the standpoint of address a D-line. It hasn't been addressed for 3 years. You're bringing in Matt Eberflus. He wants a 3 technique. Who knows what happens with Osa Odigizua, who's a free agent. Yeah. But whatever you do, help Eberflus do what you didn't do for Mike Zimmer. Give the man what he needs up front. Do that part of it. That, to me, is where they should go in free agency. All right. Hey, fun times here. Yeah. Lamar's press conference is about to start here. He's the halftime show.
Mardi Gras, I'm ready, baby.
Grammy Award winner. Poor Drake.
They not like
Don't do that.
Pray for Drake. Pray for Drake and Nico.
All bad words.
All bad words. No words. No words.
Heck, Trey.
Barry.
Players Lounge, we're out.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?